Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about auxiliary verbs. Let's go. Okay, first, what are auxiliary verbs? The auxiliary verbs are verbs that have the function of helping to express what we want, what we do, what it is in different tenses, modes, or voices. The auxiliary verbs are verb to be, verb to do, and verb to have. So, the verb to be has three functions that are linking verb, auxiliary verb, and modal verb. Okay, linking verb provides information about the subject, its temporary state or permanent. To be more precise, don't show action. Show what it is. For example, Elena ran in the garden. In this example, we can see the action that is run. Now, let's see another example. Elena is alone in the garden. The verb in this sentence is the verb to be is. Elena is alone in the garden. Another example. Students are bored with their virtual classes. Here, are is the linking verb. We don't see the action, but we do know the subject information. Okay? Now, auxiliary verb. Okay, we know that it's auxiliary verb for two reasons. One is for the conjugation, progressive or continuous, and two reasons is for the construction, the passive voice. For example, the dancers are practicing again. In this sentence, the verb to be is are, and it's an auxiliary verb because it has the presence of the progressive practicing. Now, another example. The salteña was eaten by Robert. In this sentence, the verb to be is an auxiliary because the sentence is passive voice. The sentence is in the passive voice because the subject received the action. Remember. 3. Modal verb. The verb to be can occasionally be used to express prohibition, obligation, permission, and also future. For example, students are to participate in the September fair. Now, auxiliary verb to do. Auxiliary verb to do has two functions, main verb and auxiliary verb. Main verb in simple words it's the verb that expresses action. For example, my cousin does homework while my aunt goes out. In this sentence, does is the main verb. 2. Auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb is auxiliary verb. For example, we use verb to do as an auxiliary verb in the negative form, in the simple present and simple past, and also for questions. For example, I don't like pumping soap. In this sentence, don't is the auxiliary verb in the form negative. Another example, did you make the video last week? In this sentence, did is the auxiliary verb in the form in question because it's a question. Did in the form simple past. Now, the last auxiliary, but not least, the auxiliary verb to have. Okay, the auxiliary verb to have has two functions that are main verb and auxiliary verb. The main verb expresses to action for possession or ownership. For example, ownership is something that belongs to you. Yes. For example, my mom had baby clothes stored in the closet. In this sentence, had is the main verb for ownership. Okay? Now, possession. Possession is simply have something. Yes, it simply have something. For example, the patient has a cough. The patient has a cough. In the sentence, has is the main verb for possession. Perfect. Auxiliary verb to have. The verb to have is used in the constructions of perfect sentences. That's to say, for example, have you traveled to another country? In this sentence, have you is the auxiliary verb. Another example, she has passed the subjects. In this sentence, has is the auxiliary verb. And well, that will be all. I hope you have understood. I hope, yes. See you in another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.